Well, hashtag Take Back the Tax is calling for an immediate clampdown on the illicit tobacco trade. The call follows findings by the Nugent Inquiry that suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane and other senior staff were actively protecting illegal cigarette makers. The organization says it feels vindicated by the findings. To discuss this further, we are joined by spokesperson Yusuf Abramjee. Good evening, Yusuf. Thanks very much.
Good evening, Vio.
For coming through. Just your take first on the on Nugent's recommendation.
Here is the report, the inter-report made public yesterday, presented to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Clearly, Tom Moyane, as the commissioner of SARS, has messed up this organization. The judge details everything from the illicit trade to administrative issues, etc., etc. And that is why we at Take Back the Tax, and by the way, this is an initiative of the Tobacco Institute of Southern Africa, launched a few weeks ago, has been saying to government all the time, we have been on a tax holiday, and the judge confirms that. The last few years has seen a total clampdown, or rather total breakdown in the clampdown of the illegal cigarette trade. And the judge, for example, makes a mention here, quote, and I quote Vio, he says, measures to counter criminality have been rendered ineffective, and those who trade illicitly in commodities like tobacco operate with little constraint. That just shows how the system has broken down, and that is why we feel vindicated, because we've been saying over the past few weeks, over and over again, government is not clamping down, and Tom Moyane has failed the South African taxpayer, he's failed the South African government, and that is why I'm of the view that he should resign.
Well, we obviously haven't heard his side of the story, and that's due, of course, to him, you know, challenging the very, the existence of the, the legality of the very inquiry. But what if, which was a question that was posed by his lawyer yesterday when we spoke to him, what if someone comes around and says, look, yes, what you're saying, what the judge said has happened at SARS is actually what happened, but here's why it happened, and let's say theoretically, that person proves that this was beyond Moyane's control.
Let's just take one issue, Vio, the illegal or the illicit trade, right? We know that we're losing an estimated 7 billion rand per annum. And here we have it, the Ipsos survey, which some people have questioned, the critics have questioned, but the facts speak for themselves. A packet of cigarettes, 20 cigarettes, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know how many in the pack, but a packet of 20 cigarettes, I'm told, on the illegal market sells from between 5 and 10 rand, right? The distributors, manufacturers says it's counterfeit. Clearly, people are avoiding custom and excise duties, which is about 17 some odd rand. I've got one question for Moyane. If you were committed to fighting the illicit trade, give us the facts and the details. How many of these illegal cigarettes, for example, or illicit cigarettes were confiscated since you took office? Why did you close the unit? We know it's no secret that there have been certain political connections made to people within the illegal cigarette trade, and Moyane has a lot of answering to do. Why did he close, as the judge finds, this particular unit? And that is why, as much as I say that, I remain confident that Mark Keenan, the acting SARS commissioner, remains committed to cleaning up the corruption within his own organization, and we want to see action. You know, it's very sad when 17,000 citizens have to sign a petition calling on government to implement the law. We've got 17,000 plus signatures already. We're probably going to hit 20,000 by next week. When people are pleading with government, with SARS, with the police to say, please clamp down. We don't need more laws. We need government to make sure that those laws are implemented, and that is why we're appealing to South Africans to say, yes, let's continue the pressure, let's continue to make sure that government acts, add your name to the submission, takebackthetax.org, and let's make sure that government acts. And I think the next few days, next few weeks is going to be very interesting to see if SARS is really committed to cleaning up the illegal trade, because we know the tricks of the trade. We know some of these distributors of illegal cigarettes use what we call double or triple or multiple invoicing, amongst other issues.
Well, Judge Nugent has made the recommendation to the president, of course. It's up to him to act on the report, interim report that he has given him. What do you think he should do?
Well, I think if I was President Ramaphosa, yes, I suppose Moyane has a right to reply. He has to defend himself. But based on the interim report of the judge, there is overwhelming evidence that Moyane has messed up. I think he must pack his bags, and I think the President should fire him.
We have run out of time, but I have to ask you this, because at the end of the day, it won't help the fight. I remember a summit or conference that was held recently where all the stakeholders, people involved in the illicit trade, including the police, were, of course, gathering to look at ways to deal with this issue. And it was actually said that there were other people involved, including DTI, who could help in this fight, but they weren't quite where they should be in terms of giving the police and other people, you know, the kind of armory they need to be able to deal effectively with illicit
What does
trade.
it tell you, Vuyo? It tells you that something is stinking, something is rotten.
So it's not just SARS.
It's
and
not only
Moyane.
SARS. We need the police on board. We need DTI. We need government as a whole. We don't need new laws. We need them to implement the laws. These illegal cigarettes are being sold in broad daylight, not only at the spaza shop, at wholesalers. Why no clampdown? We want to see confiscations. We want to see arrest. And the challenge is out to SARS. Act now, and we want to see you act with urgency.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming through. Yusuf Abramjee, of course, who is the spokesperson of a group of organizations that want illicit tobacco trade really sorted out. An immediate clampdown is what they are calling for, and they do support the recommendation for Moyane to be fired.